Boss Lady News. I know it's been quite a while, and I want to know what's going on in sports these days.
Oh my goodness, so much is going on. Absolutely so much is going on. Of course, everyone knows about the whole Aaron Hernandez situation. It's been crazy. It's been surreal. He's locked up. He's in jail. He's been charged with the murder of Odin Lloyd. So rest in peace to him, and I want to send my condolences to his family. And it's just been a very, very crazy time here in the city of Boston for sports. So,
yeah. And I know people are so focused on the Aaron Hernandez controversy and, what is going to happen at the end of the day.
Right.
Oddly enough, I've been out in North Andover quite a bit, and even the people out there are still in shock of everything that's going on. There's definitely an influx in investigators kind of going on or going around about and finding out what's going on. They're still looking for the murder weapon. That's incredible.
Right.
And they're pinning these other cases on him, and they don't have anything substantial as of yet in reference to those other cases.
Well, I mean, the prosecution seems to have some, enough evidence, obviously, to keep him locked up. And I think over time, it's all going to play out. We're going to be able to hear and see what type of evidence they do have. And after that, we'll be able to come up with our own conclusion, and, he'll have a trial, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Do you think it's going to be another case where the wealthy get off, or, do you suspect that, he's minority either way? He's going to get locked up.
I really didn't think too much about that aspect of the whole thing, because I do love sports. So unfortunately, sometimes I put the sports side of it ahead of everything. But now that you ask, I think it's going to be a pretty fair trial for the most part. I just know a lot of eyes will be glued and a lot of eyes will be watching. So we'll see.
So thank you, Aaron Hernandez, for bringing so much attention to Boston and the sports. Unfortunately, you are not a Patriot. So let's talk about the Patriots.
Yes. You can't really mention the Patriots without having to deal with that situation. And now that situation is moving forward, the Patriots have pretty much turned over the team. There are a lot of new faces, Wes Welker is gone. Matter of fact, the Broncos are on the Sports Illustrated cover. It's hurt. A lot of people in Boston are just hurting by looking at it and seeing Wes Welker and Manning on the cover. But there are some good players that are on the Patriots right now. You have Danny Amendola, who's pretty much coming in to fill the void that Wes Welker is leaving.
Okay, and what position was that for all,
well, we're going to call
anybody
it
out there
a wide receiver, but more so a slot receiver.
Okay.
I don't want to get too deep into that, what that actually means, but a wide receiver, I hope you all understand what a wide receiver is. You understand what a wide receiver is?
Yes.
Okay.
I was
now,
a cheerleader for
afterwards.
football, so not that that's anything, but yes.
Yeah, so I mean, right now, training camp was going on. Now we're moving into preseason. The Patriots, they'll play their first preseason game tomorrow night in Philadelphia versus the Eagles. But so far, the reports are that, Brady and some of the receivers, especially Amendola, are really looking in sync. A lot of people don't want to put too much stock into it because it is just, a practice and training camp. But at the same time, you got to be able to take something from it. I've been to a lot of training camps where you can see if someone's faster than another player, or if they've lost a step, or if they're really focused and who's not. So Patriots, I think they're going to surprise a lot of people at the end of the day.
Who's another good newbie that's to the team that you would say may actually take them to a level where they're going to get that ring?
He's not a newbie, but I'm looking at Stephen Ridley, who is the running back. Now, he played last year. He's had an issue with fumbling the ball, and actually in training camp, they're saying he's still having an issue with fumbling the ball. But the reason why I'm bringing up him is because even though the Patriots
That's a big deal.
It is, but even though the Patriots ended up being in third place when it came to rushing the ball last year, a lot of people still don't view the Patriots as a running team. And I understand that part. But if Stephen Ridley can hold on to the ball, and not just him, but the whole running back core, If we can get that balance, I think it'll help out tremendously, especially this year, because with the injuries of Gronk and Hernandez not being there and Wes Welker, you kind of don't know what the offense will be able to do, but if you can depend on the running game, you can kind of hold things down until the rest of the offense catches up, if that's what
Is it
happens.
slippery fingers or is it nerves? How much do we know about his sports ability from before? Was he good at being?
He's good enough to be
runner?
in the NFL.
Yeah,
I just
but
think
there's a lot of people out there that are good enough and they're sitting down.
That's true, but he still gets in the game. I think it's something that he'll correct. I
Okay.
believe in Stephen Ridley, and as far as why, I believe in Stephen Ridley. As far as why he fumbles, you would have to ask him, but he does.
Okay.
It's more so he doesn't do it a lot. It's in critical situations where you're like, oh my goodness, just like Wes Welker. He catches a lot of balls. He also drops the most in the NFL, but we remember the ones he dropped in critical situations, just like in the Super Bowl.
So let's say Patriots get in. What's the team you want to see them play against?
I don't know about who I want them to play against. I think the New Orleans Saints are going to make noise and get back to it this year. After last year falling off, I think the Saints will come back and make some noise.
New Orleans has been trying to shake the ground ever since their ground was shaken.
Yeah.
So that would be an interesting game to watch.
Yeah.
Let's talk baseball.
Okay.
What's going on with the
A-Rod?
A-Rod.
Oh my goodness. Well, first off, we got to give a shout out to the Boston Red Sox in first
Yes.
place, doing their thing,
Yes.
holding it down.
Yes.
But then we have this huge situation in Major League Baseball where steroids, PEDs, performance-enhancing drugs are once again in the spotlight. And there were 13 players who were caught using PEDs through a biogenesis clinic in Florida. And one of the names is A-Rod. This is not his first time being caught. He's caught up in this again, so much so.
Is he caught, or is it
No, he's
because
caught.
of previous times they're assuming?
It's previous times, and Major League Baseball said they have more evidence on him than they do the other players, more damaging evidence.
Oh my goodness,
Now,
he's the dealer.
Hey, we might find out. We might find out. Now, the other players have taken 50-game suspensions, and they're not appealing.
And
okay?
he's appealing.
He's appealing. Now, understand, he receives a suspension until the end of 2014. He's 38 years old. He's coming off of an injury. He's not been playing that great. So now he's appealing, and because he's appealing, he's allowed to play. So the suspension came down, I want to say it was about 2 or 3 days ago, and then the next day he made his return back to baseball. It hasn't been pretty. Crowds have been booing him. He got hit by a pitcher. They cheered. It's just not good. It's not a good look, and in my opinion, it's time to hang it up.
But what is this, him appealing it, what does this do for him? I mean, if he had chosen not to appeal it, does he lose his money? Like, are the other team players not getting paid? But now that he is appealing, he's still receiving the funds until his appeal is ended. What does this mean for him?
He would have lost money. I think even more so with him. I mentioned his age and the injuries. He's not the great A-Rod that he used to be. He's more of an average baseball player now. So he risked not being able to ever play again in the professional realm in Major League Baseball the way that he wants to. So he's appealing. A lot of people think he's making a foolish choice. I think he's wasting his time. But he is appealing. He has the right to do so, and he's playing right now. So we'll see what happens. But it's a black eye for baseball, for sure.
And I hate to say, let's talk basketball.
Yeah, well, we have to.
But, I'm just remembering the speech that Paul Pierce and KG made that wants to put all of Boston to tears because they could not make a speech without saying Boston.
Yeah, I'm going to say this. The entire city of Boston and the New England area has to understand that sports here, we're in the transition, okay? We went through a decade or so of just sports bliss. We were winning everything, championships. We was on the duck boats. We were riding up and down all over the place. And it looks like it's coming to an end. All great things come to an end. And even looking at the Celtics in this situation, you got to salute KG and Paul Pierce. We're in a rebuilding stage. If I'm them, I'm up there in age. My career is coming close to an end. I want to win another championship. Do I stay with a team that's rebuilding in the Celtics, or do I go to a team like the Nets, who are a good team? And now with them, in my opinion, the Nets are right up there with Miami. They're going to contend for the Eastern Conference Championship and maybe the NBA Championship. It hurt.
So then that's where these fair weather fans will have to make an honest decision, like if you're going to stay with the Celtics or if you're now going to go off and start supporting your own team.
If you're a fair weather fan and you choose to go elsewhere and you were claiming the Celtics, don't talk to me. Don't even do it.
Yeah.
Don't even do it. We have an issue with that. We call them pink hats. We call them all types of stuff.
We talked about the pink hats.
We don't want nothing to do with you if you're going to be that way.
Yeah.
Stick it out. And by the way, the Celtics are not as bad as people are making them seem. And and I don't know why that's happening. Yes, they're not the same team.
It's just the big brothers are gone.
It's the familiar faces. For some reason, I used to think Boston was a little bit tougher, a little bit, thicker skin. But with Wes Welker leaving, with KG, we tend to panic and just assume the worst without seeing any evidence yet. We haven't seen any of these teams step on the field or on the court, and yet it's over.
Yeah.
It's over. Just calm down, people. We'll be all right.
We'll be okay?
Yes, we're going to be okay.
Oh,
Calm
man.
down.
Now, before we came on set, you were telling me about the UFC. I love the UFC.
Oh.
We've got someone from Boston?
Yes.
What is this about?
Doomsday Howard.
Okay.
Okay, he's from Dorchester, so you got to support the hometown kid. Now, in 2011, he was in UFC, which stands for Ultimate Fighting Championship.
Yes.
You can see them on Fox. They're on pay-per-view. It's very popular. The brand is bigger than boxing right now. And 2011, he was out. He's been trying to get back in, and he finally is getting his chance to make his return to UFC. It's going down at the Garden August 17th.
Wow.
And he's going to face Uriah Hall. And I'm so happy for him. I've met him. I've talked to him. I've been able to interview him. But it's good to see homegrown talent being able to show and just do what they do on a large scale, on the huge stage.
Yeah.
And Boston, we need to, show up and support
Oh my goodness. Leroy, thank you so much for coming
thank you
on
once
and
again for having
updating
me.
us with what's going on. Tell my audience again how they can get in touch with you.
Okay, well, listen, you can hit me up at playactionboston@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook at Play Action Boston. And actually, our website is coming up, PassBoston.com. That's PASS Boston.com.
Nice.
And it's being built right now.
Okay.
If you go on there right now, you might see things out of place. Don't worry about it. We're moving. We're moving
best
forward.
is yet to
Yes,
come.
the best is yet to come. We're pressing.
We're about to go to a brief PSA, and we would have talked about the Bruins, but there wasn't much to really say about that.
I told you already. It's change. Change going on in the city. Change.
Change gonna come.
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna cut to a brief PSA. There's a gentleman that I got a chance to meet that I am still meeting and finding out more about. After the PSA, you'll get a chance to meet him also. Then check him out on Facebook. We'll be right back.
I used to tell my kids